This is my story of coming out as a transgender individual, and to make it a little bit more personal, I want to let you know that my name is Claire. There are two reasons why I'm making this video. One, because I want to start using this account more, and two, because it might normalize some situations that people are suffering through. As soon as I could comprehend gender, I knew I wanted to be female. In fact, for a long time, I kind of just thought that I was, until eventually the habits of being a male were cemented into me through my family by saying, you know, don't do that, that's what girls do, you can't have that, that's what girls have, you have to have this because you're a boy. I'm in my later 20s, so when I was a kid, HRT wasn't necessarily a known medication, so that means that puberty for me was an inescapable, horrific reality that I had no choice but to go through. It was made very well clear to me that when I hit high school, my friends are all going to grow apart, and I had no choice but to go along the path that I didn't want to, being a male. As I got closer and closer to high school, I was so desperate to not be the person that people told me I had to be. I considered mutilation, I tried to sell my soul to the devil, I tried to pray to God, I tried to... anything that had to do with magic, like licking your elbow was a folklore tale as a kid that would change your gender. I tried everything. To me, gender dysphoria is best described as a glass cage, with water that's filling from the bottom up. The higher it gets, the more desperate I got, and there was no way out. So what do you do to survive when you're in a situation like that? Well, you learn how to hold your breath. Throughout high school and even afterwards, I sold myself to the role that I was told I had to be in, because to me there was no other option. That was the only way for me to survive. And I did decent at it. I think there was a lot of struggles that I went through that people didn't see. Like every single time I was out in public and every single time I was shining bright and happy, I really wasn't. I always felt so fake, and I always had a very temporary amount of time that I would expect to be friends with people because I had this facade up that eventually would crumble. The inability to form authentic relationships and express myself in a way that was meaningful to me made me very depressed, so I leaned on substances to get away from that. Marijuana was one, which is legal here in Canada, alcohol was another, and tobacco. I was addicted to these three substances for a very long time, until eventually I decided to come out. By the time I came out, the addictions that were running my life had essentially ruined my life. I was in heavy debt because of these situations. I had no self-control, no self-worth, I was depressed, I was angry, and I was pushing people away. A lot happened over the course of a few months. One, I found out what HRT was. Even though it was kind of publicly known already, I finally found out what it was through listening into a conversation in VR chat. And two, I had a daughter. The two options I essentially had were one, risk losing everything and everyone because transitioning, and two, risk losing my life because of depression. So I chose one. When I finally came out, me and my girlfriend at the time tried for a while. It was about 6 months in until she decided to break up with me. At that point, I lost my kid, I lost any foundation I'd built over the course of many years, and COVID had just hit, so I lost any chance to rent a place. I went to my mom's for a few months actually before I picked up a job where I would work at a hotel where we originally met. The story could be quite simple from there. I mean, I got a job, I got very lucky, I paid off my debt with that job, I eventually started streaming, and I met all of you. But there are a few key details that are the most important in my entire journey. You see, all this kind of started happening as I was just beginning my transition, but fortunately during that time, I met someone that would change my life forever. I took a chance on going out of my comfort zone and saying hi to someone, and it was in World of Warcraft, and this person had essentially been there for me from beginning to end. Eventually we broke up, but I don't know where I would be without them, if I'm being honest. I was very lucky to have someone like that, and I guess like the idea behind that is it's worth trying to meet people, and sometimes it's worth extending that olive branch. He didn't care that I was trans. He didn't care that I was early into it. And he didn't care that my voice didn't sound the way it does right now. He was just supportive and he was there for me. I hold a lot of regrets during the time that I dated him because the person I was not healthy, and I wasn't a healthy person to date. In fact, I was very toxic. I was controlling. I was obsessive. I was a lot of things that no one would really want to date, and for good reason. But I don't know if I could have been better, even if I really wish that I was. But he stuck it out for a very long time, and the person that you see today probably wouldn't be the person that you see today if it wasn't for him. So anyway, I don't want to talk about that aspect too much, but that one person really did play a huge role in my entirety of transitioning. And after he left me, the desperation for him to contact me led me into streaming, which eventually led me into making content, which led me to here. which my motivation isn't for him to reach out to me anymore. I know that that was a fallacy and it was selfish and a little bit foolish. But what I did find is a community that I absolutely love and adore. And it's a community that I see is going through the same struggles that I went through. And is a community that is not necessarily represented well. To hear that you're not alone can sometimes feel diminutive. It can make you feel like your situation is not as important as it is, or it might make it feel small. But when I say that you're not alone, try not to take it like that, because your situation is unique and no one can understand what you're seriously and truly going through, even if we walk a same path. But do take some solace in the fact that you are not alone and other people are suffering out there with the same situation, and or at least parallels of, and to reach out to these people, to make friends in these communities can make a huge difference in your life. And I 100% support you in any path that you take. But in the end, I think the most important thing is to make decisions that are gonna make you happy. Don't live your life around the expectations of other people, because you will only become miserable and they'll leave anyway. The same people that would leave you because you come out as trans will leave you if you become an alcoholic or addicted to marijuana or become an embarrassment to them. So live your life, and live it proud, and take chances, and understand that sometimes you might lose people, but there's also other people to meet out there, great people, and people that will truly make you happy. Just in the end, that's my core message to you. It's never too late. But if it's something that you know you want to do, fight for it. Fight for you, basically. That's kind of it. I don't really know what else to say. I'm sure there's a lot more information I could give, but I've kind of given you my life story. I'm gonna leave it there. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time here, and I hope that whatever you do makes you happy. And in the end, also do it safe. I do want to say that because I know that some places they can legitimately be dangerous in this day and age, which is heartbreaking, but okay. Take care, okay? Bye.